As somebody who's like a professional engineer, has been for, you know, a while, and also um, someone who has spent more than 10 years, long before ChatGPT got released, um, working with um, machine-generated literature. Um, I have a really specific complaints about how LLMs are used and understood, and like why they are not terribly interesting. That don't really correspond to the you know ways that the criticisms that are going around, right? Um, so part of this is that, okay, like this idea that people who use generative technologies in art are like not artistic. That's not like the core part of art that's like skill based. Like there's a long tradition of artists you respect using generative techniques, whether or not you like necessarily recognize them as the same thing. If you're using them this way, they are. And so um, Salvador Dali. His politics weren't great, but Salvador Dali used generative techniques because he had the paranoia critical method and a couple others where a lot of these are better known as surrealist techniques because the surrealists, among others like Oulipo, were really big into using generative techniques. These were not computerized generative techniques because computers didn't exist. But basically, as soon as artists got computers, they started automating these processes. David Bowie was using his computer to do cut-ups in using the verbicizer software in the 90s for um sorry for Outside. That's the album, among other things, right? Um, so, like, the core function of using a generative method as an artist is not to save time. Although, like in theory, it can be used that way. I know an artist who has been a professional illustrator for decades, um, and he's heavily using GANs. To essentially the way he used to use photo bashing, right? So he would